Greetings of the day, everyone. Hi, this is Nidhi Shukla, Assistant Professor at United Group of Institutions. Hope you all are taking care of yourself and family. So, welcome to this lecture of strategic management, in which we will be dealing with a very relevant topic, that is capability profile. So, before we start, please do subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon to get the latest update and notification of my lectures. So, here we are going to discuss the content that we are going to discuss under the capability profile. The basic concept of capability profile, commonly used functional areas. Under this, we will discuss certain financial capability, marketing capability, operations capability, personal capability, information management capability, general management capability, and I also have included certain examples of organization capability to relate this theoretical concept to the recent contemporary industry. At the end, we will also discuss how we are going to prepare SAP for any firm, and we'll also discuss the certain factors that are included in the SAP preparation. That is strategic advantage profile. So here we start organizational capability profile, OCP. So if you look at this diagram and we start from the very bottom, you can see the organizational resources along with the organizational behavior clubbed together and combined together to make the organizational strength and weakness. Every organization has certain resources. There are certain tangible and certain intangible resources. And organizational behavior is a subject which you all have studied, and this basically deals with the behavior of employees, the workers at the workplace. They come together to give us the strength and weakness in any organization. And if these strength and weakness will ultimately lead to the effects, results, or the outcomes which are synergistically more. That is, they are more than the expected. They lead to the competency of any firm in the industry by which they can lead their competitors. They all together lead to the foundation of organizational capabilities, and they help the organizations to achieve strategic advantage over the competitors in the industry. So let's first understand what is the meaning of capability profile. As we all know, the capabilities in manufacturing, in service industry, or in organizations are basically developed in certain specific functional areas like marketing, operations, or in any part of that functional area like distribution, research and development. So it's quite feasible and easy to measure in functional areas. So a company could be considered as inherently strong in marketing owing to a competence in distribution skill, or a company could be competitive in operation owing to superior research and development infrastructures. So when we come, if we have to explain, we can simply code capability profile as organizational capability factors are strategic strength and weakness existing in different functional areas within an organization which are of crucial importance in a strategy formulation and implementation. So these are basically, we can say, the organizational capability factors are the strategic strength and weakness which are responsible for the formulation and the implementation of any strategy in any firm. And they are basically divided into 6 largely accepted and commonly understood functional areas. And these are finance, marketing, operation, personal information, and general management. So let's first discuss each one of them one by one. Financial capability. This is related with the finance of any firm or any company. Basically, it deals with the procurement of the fund, investment, and the management of the firm, and all the aspects that have a bearing on an organization's capability to implement its strategies. So you can remember that the financial capabilities are basically related with the procurement of the fund, that is from where we are going to collect these funds. Next is, it is related with the investment of the fund, where we are going to invest these funds to yield maximum return and output. And at last, it basically deals with the whole management of that fund. So if we look at these three factors one by one, so let's first have a look at the availability or the procurement of the fund. So what are the factors that we have to look after when we are procuring fund? We have to look after the capital structure of the firm, debt equity ratio. We have to look after from where we are going to procure these funds, who is responsible for controlling these firms, relationship with the lenders, what kind of relationship we share, can they give us the loans or the amounts on credit or something else or in advance. And the financial institution, basically the banks, these are the financial institution which basically give finance to the industrialists. So next, when we talk about the next factor, that is factors relating to capital investment, or where we are going to invest the funds which we have procured to yield the maximum return and the maximum output. They basically deals in buying certain fixed assets or acquiring them, investing in current asset, loans and advances where we have pending dues, where we have to pay. What are the amount of profit to be distributed to the shareholders, that is dividend distribution, what is that person relationship with the shareholders. So all these factors comes under the capital investment decisions. So next, when we discuss the third head, that is factors relating to management of the fund. Basically they are responsible for financial accounting and budgeting system is responsible for doing all these kind of activities. That is it look after cash, inflation, credit and other things. When we come to the risk and return management, it deals with cost reduction and control, tax planning and advantage. All these things comes under the factors relating to the management of the fund. So next, when we come to the next factor, that is marketing capabilities. So it's marketing. And I think you all have read the 4 P's, which are further extended to 7 P's. 7 P's of production, 7 P's of marketing, 7 P's of marketing. Here we are going to discuss some relating this marketing capability with some of those tools. So basically the marketing capability relates with the product, price, promotion and distribution of those products and services, and all the allied aspects that have a bearing on an organization's capability and ability to implement a strategy. So here, when we look after the factors one by one, product related factors are basically what variety of products are offered, how it is differentiated from the customer's product, what mixed quality we are using, where it is positioned at the mind of the customers, what are the advantages of using this product. So there can be various aspects that relate a firm or marketing capability of a firm related to the product. When we come to the next, that is price related factors, that is what is the pricing objective, what are the policies, what are the changes, what are the production and what are the advantages of buying the particular product over the other product in aspects of the prices. So next, when we discuss place related factors, that is place, it should be first of all a product should be easily available to the customers, that is distribution, transportation, logistics, what are the marketing channels that we are going to use. We are going to do online marketing, offline marketing, whatever the methods are going to be used. Who are the intermediaries who will distribute our products to our end consumers or the customers. So these are the factors related to place related factors. So promotion related factors are like what are the promotional tools, what are the sales promotion, what are the advertising tools and techniques that we are going to use, what are the various public relation tools we are using. So all these depends on the promotion. Integrative and systematic factors. So you can see it's a club of a number of factors which deals with marketing mix, market standing, company image, marketing organization, marketing management information system and all these things. So next, when we come to our third capability, that is operations capability. I think you all can easily relate. This is basically related with the production and operations capability. productions and operations capability, or you can see it is basically POM, production and operations management. So operational capability factors relate to the production of product or services, the use of the resources, and all allied aspects that have a bearing on an organization capability and the ability to implement its strategy. So when we come to this, you can see every production system has to deal with a number of factors like capacity, in how, what will be the volume of production, the location where we are going to set up our production, what will be the layout, what will be the mapping, where we are going to keep what equipments, what will be the product design or what will be the service design, work system, degree of automation, extent of vertical integration, etc. So these are the things that we basically deal in the production system. Now when it comes to operations and control system, so aggregate production planning, material supply, inventory, cost, quality control, maintenance system and procedures, all these come together under the operations. In fact, you can say operations is a quite broader term, and the production is already included in that. So next factor under this is R&D, research and development system. It basically deals with personal facilities, product development, patent right, level of technology use, technical collaboration and support. Next, we are going to discuss the personal capability. Personal capabilities are the capabilities related with the manpower working in an organization. What kind of manpower exists in the organization and how those manpowers possessing the suitable skills are helping the organization to gain excellence or to gain a competitive edge over the competitors. So some of the factors which influence the personal capability of an organization are as follows. In this we discuss the personal system. Personal system is basically responsible for the HRP. You must have heard HRP, that is human resource planning. Forecasting the requirement of the manpower in any organization, or it basically deals and calculate the employee turnover ratio, the number of employees coming into an organization and the number of employees leaving an organization. It is responsible for the recruitment, selection, development. Once you recruit employees, you select them and you are responsible for compensating them, training them. You are responsible for solving their grievance and a number of things. Next, we have organizational and employee capability characteristics. Like every employee looks for the corporate image. If the firm is renowned, if the firm is known, the employee is automatically attracted to that organization. So it's quite necessary that the organization should also possess the desired capabilities, desired fame and name. So corporate image, quality of managers, staff and workers' perception about the image of the organization as an employer is responsible for the creating opportunities for more employees to get recruited or to work as an employee in that organization. So next, when we come under this, under personal capability, we have IR. It is itself a very broad concept. Industrial relation. In this, we deal with the relationship between the managers, employer and the employee relationship are discussed in this. So union management relationship, collective bargaining, safety, welfare, security, employee satisfaction, moral, all these things, grievance, whatever comes related to the workers, related to the employees are discussed and solved under the industrial relation. Looking after the next, that is information management capability. Information management capability factors relate to the design and management of the flow of information from outside into and within an organization for the purpose of decision making and all allied aspects that have a bearing on an organization's capacity and the ability to implement strategy. So you can simply see the information management capability is basically responsible for collecting or for gathering the information from outside the firm or external to the firm and also responsible for controlling the flow of information within the firm as well. So it also includes certain factors like the first one is acquisition and retention of information. Like what are the sources of information, what quantity and quality we have got those information, retention of the information, and the security of the information. Like if we have got any information, we have to keep that secure. We don't have to leak that until or unless it is verified or valid. So processing and synthesis of the information, the database management is basically responsible for doing this. And next is retrieval and the use of the information. Whenever these information, these data, these news are needed, they are basically made available during the appropriate time in the appropriate format. At last, it is responsible for transmission and dissemination of the information, like speed, scope, width, and depth of the coverage of the information, and the willingness to accept the information. So this is about the information management capability. So next we discuss the general management capability. What is general management capability? In fact, you can say it is the wholesome. It is responsible for the entire management capability of an organization. So it integrates, coordinates, and directs the functional capabilities towards common goals and all allied aspects that have a bearing on an organization's capability and the ability to implement its strategies. So it also includes, you can simply understand, it is responsible for the integration, coordination, and the direction of entire or the whole functional capabilities. It also includes certain factors like the very first one is general management system. Like you can understand it is like strategic management. What does strategic management do? The strategic management system. First, it is responsible for setting certain strategic intent, formulating strategy, making them implemented, evaluating them. Management information system is responsible for collecting the information. The corporate planning system, rewards, incentives for the top managers, all these comes under the general management system. Next is the general managers. General managers are the next its component. They have certain values, norms, they have distinct competencies, they have the capacity to work, to track record, and the balance of the functional experience. They are responsible for maintaining a balance between the functional experiences. So external relationship, they influence on the rapport with the government, regulatory agencies, financial institutions, public relation, and sense of social responsibility, public image as corporate citizenship. These are the factors of the general management system. So here we are going to discuss some of the example. You can see when we talk about the financial capability, we have certain leading firms like Bajaj has an excellent cash management system. When we talk about LIC, it has centralized payment and decentralized collection. Reliance, high investor confidence. Of course, you can see Escort, amicable relationship with FIs. Marketing, when we talk about the marketing capability, you can quote the example of Hindustan Unilever, which has an excellent distribution channel. IDBI, ICICI Bank, wide variety of products. When we look after the Tata company, its product image is just enough. So when we talk about certain exemplary operations capability, we have Lakshmi Machine Works, absorbs important technology, Balmer and Lavi, R&D new specialty chemicals. So when we look after the personal capability, we have a number of industries, but among them Apollo Tyres. If you look after this, so they deal very precisely in the industrial relations problem. General management capability, when we look after this, you can see Malayan Manamora, largest selling newspaper, unchallenged leadership, unified, stable, best. So let's first have a look at what is SAP, Strategic Advantage Profile. SAP, Strategic Advantage Profile, what is it? It is a simple summary statement which provides an overview of the advantage and disadvantages in key areas which likely to affect the future operation of an organization. It is a summary statement of various functional areas and it includes certain various factors which are responsible for the smooth operation, and we also include certain advantages and weakness in this, and according to that we determine the strategic direction of the operations. So here you can see like we have capability factor, nature of impact, competitive strength or weakness. So these are the important capability factors like finance, marketing, operations, personal information and general management, which I have discussed in the previous slides in detail. So I also have included one of the factor, that is nature of impact. What is the impact? Depending upon their competitive strength or weakness. So certain strength and weaknesses are taken. Like if we take finance, high cost of capital, reserves and surplus, position unsatisfactory, will lead to the impact of this capability profile will be downward, will not be fruitful for the firm. When we come to the marketing, you can see fierce competition in industry, company's position secure at present. That means the firm can go in the positive direction, in the right direction and in the forward direction, having a stable capability factor. When we come to the operations, if the plant and machinery are in excellent condition, captive sources for the parts and components available, that means a firm is possessing good operations capability. When we come to the personnel, if the quality of managers and the workers are comparable with the competitors firm, that means they are performing well and they can go ahead. When it comes to information, advanced management information system in place, most traditional functions such as payroll and accounting are computerized. That means they are handling their information well and they can grow. General management, when we talk about the general management, high quality and experienced top management generally adopts a proactive, if the firm is adapting a proactive approach. You must have heard there are two approaches, proactive and reactive. Proactive is all about thinking before doing, and reactive is all about acting after the event has occurred. So if the management is applying a proactive approach, that means they can have a increasing impact on the organizational capability. Thank you for being such a patient listener. Thank you everyone. With this, we have ended the last module. Thank you so much. Keep watching and keep liking. Thank you.